The startup founders we interview are making a huge impact on the world through their products and services. But whether or not they know it, they're also imparting a crucial lesson. You can't do this alone. When you're a founder, you lead. And when you lead well, you're creating an empowered team of allies who can support your ideas at every turn.
Good leadership to me, you lead by example.
So leadership is not just sort of sitting on your throne, so to speak.
We're all actively always, figuring out our leadership styles and seeing what works and what doesn't.
The proof is in the pudding. These leaders have created sophisticated and successful startups with this approach. Being the head of a team isn't always easy, but your style can actually make or break your long-term success. So, we just had to ask, what does good leadership look like to you?
So good leadership for me is, first of all, leading by example, and secondly, is being vulnerable. Those are the two things that I think that if you want to be a good leader,
you should never ask someone to do something that you yourself aren't willing to do. And then also making sure that your team has the feedback. That was sort of the reinforcing part. Hey, these are things that are really good. We want to see more of this, but also, hey, here are some areas where we think you can improve.
Well, you work hard and you lead by example. The ability to make very quick decisions about very complex problems. You have to be able to motivate people and to make people feel involved into a bigger story.
You cannot sit back and sort of direct people that you do this, you do that. There is pretty much nothing in the company that I don't do. Every little detail, every little thing that is related to the product, the company, the operations, I do it, and then I show to someone else how to do it, and then just sort of make sure that they understand, and then just give them that responsibility.
There's no way that you can command people, tell people what to do, just with saying it. You need to connect with people. You need to motivate people. You need to connect them to the vision. People need to understand the why, and in order to do that, they need to connect with you personally. Like, you can't be distant from your people that you work with, and if you want to connect, you need to be vulnerable. You need to share your emotions, failures, whatever. So I think those are the two things that makes a true leadership. And by the way, I think those are the two things that makes not just great leadership, but also fun leadership. Because any other way, it's not fun. It's not fun to work with stressed people. It's not fun to work with people that think highly of themselves. It's just not fun.
We're all actively always figuring out our leadership styles and seeing what works and what doesn't. That was a big takeaway that we had from Harvard Business School was, your leadership style is going to be unique to you, and you need to constantly experiment and figure out what works. But I think a big thing is really just role modeling and reinforcing the behaviors that you want to see in the team.
And then leading by example. So, when I was working for someone, I sometimes saw it wasn't happening. And I remember, not losing respect, but just kind of like, there wasn't as much trust there. And it was just kind of like, there wasn't trust. And so I think if you can, people that you work with, you give them the autonomy to be themselves, to be great. And yeah, I guess that would be it.
Looking to be a better leader? That's great to hear. Here are some questions you should ask yourself throughout the day. After all, introspection and retrospection will make us better. Before work, ask yourself, how can I support my team today? And how can I show recognition for my team today? During work, ask yourself, am I setting the highest standard for my team? How can I model ethical behavior right now? And am I focusing on important tasks? After work, ask yourself, what examples did I set today? And how can I be a better leader tomorrow?
There is no way for people to talk about things and then act differently. You don't want to tell your team be on time for the meeting and then you being late. No way.
As a leader, you have to look at sort of company strategy, your business model, how are you going to keep the company sustainable and positive in revenue. But I think that there's a whole other component of good leadership around building a team and being good to your employees, being good to your customers, and really building a community where that's additive, right? That where the community is helping each other and we're creating and able to make a difference for each other.
You're really part of them and you're actually serving them as well. So you're serving to achieve their goals, their personal development goals, serving their professional goals, like in their role that they're at. And by being a leader, you're really there to empower them.
I think that's like your biggest responsibility as a leader and as a manager is giving people the pathway to have success.
We try to even like our subcontractors or like not employees but people that we work with closely, we try to get them involved into what we're trying to do and kind of celebrate successes together. And these things I think are really important.
You're not always like just the feedback provider. Admitting your blind spots too is really powerful. Being comfortable as a leader, asking questions where you don't understand, tapping on people to help you get up to speed. I think that sort of creates a culture where everyone's comfortable doing that. Everyone's comfortable saying, hey, I don't know anything about this, but I'm about to figure it out. Can somebody help me? I think again that just raises the collective performance of your team.